All right, how do I lose weight, or more specifically, lose body fat? I'm not gonna drag this out. I'm gonna get straight to it. There's so many layers in which we gotta unravel, but let's just get to the basics. All right. So first thing I want to tell you is that, let's say you work out 1 to 2 hours a day. You still got 22 hours unaccounted for, and we're talking about sleep and just your overall lifestyle. We'll talk about sleep much later in the game. Let's just talk about lifestyle now. So I want y'all to pay attention to this, is that you want to have an active lifestyle. Even if you work at a desk, do your best to try to move around throughout your work shift, or make sure that, hey, I'm getting up, standing, I'm stretching, or the hours that I can stand, that I don't have to be seated, I'm moving my body. All right, this is going to give you a chance to burn more calories, because you need to be in a caloric deficit anyway to lose weight, whether it be fat, muscle, whatever it is. 1 pound is essentially 3,500 calories. So being in that caloric deficit equals a weight loss. So making sure that you do your best to have an active lifestyle, whatever that means for you. Secondly, let's just say, hey, we got 7 days in a week. You need to be exercising at least 4 of those 7 days. During that time, there's a couple different ways you can split this, but I would say you definitely want to incorporate in resistance training or strength training, something that's going to help you build lean muscle mass, because that lean muscle mass is going to contribute toward having a faster metabolism. And I always give the, like, just the thought of, like, hey, if you look at like a Honda Civic, nothing wrong with that, a 4-cylinder car versus like a Ferrari. That Ferrari burns more gas. It's quote unquote more of a muscle car. So your body having more muscle mass, 1 pound of muscle is going to burn 20 to 30 calories, as opposed to 1 pound of fat burning 2 to 3 calories. Again, I can go down a whole rabbit hole, so I'm trying to keep this short. But you want to prioritize that resistance training. All right, cool. Should I do cardio? Yes, you should, after you do your resistance training. So if I'm working out 4 days a week, right? Let's say I do Monday and Tuesday. Monday I do legs, and I do cardio after I train legs. Tuesday I do upper body. I do cardio after I train my upper body. And what I do is, with the cardio, is what you could get on the treadmill. I prefer the Stairmaster, or a jump rope, or even some burpees, or going out and sprinting or running, whatever it may be for you. But do your cardio afterwards. That way you could use that valuable glucose on or glycogen stores on the heavy lifting. One, it's going to keep you safe. It's going to help you lift heavier, or get the lifts done that you're trying to get done. And then you are running off of pretty much the fumes of that, and tapping into more of the fat stores when you tap into your cardio. So that's how I like to go about that. But I gave you an example of how 2 of those days would go. I would maybe take Wednesday off, and then do upper and lower body again on Thursday, Friday. What I would say is, do your best to not take 2 consecutive days off. All right. So if you got rest days, try to just keep it to one rest day at a time. Well, how do I do that if I'm only working out 4 days a week? Well, you could do something that's a little bit more mild or low impact on those other days. Or you could be like, okay, cool, I'll work out every other day, and I'm gonna do full body every day that I do work out. I'll do full body, and then I'll do my cardio afterwards. Or you could do what I do. I do a full body anterior chain workout, and a full body posterior chain workout. And I do that, let's just say if I'm working out 4 days a week, I do that 4 days a week. And I'm hitting at least both parts, or each muscle twice a week, more so. Um, and then I'm doing my cardio afterwards with whatever time I have left, at least 15 minutes. I wouldn't go over an hour with the cardio, because what tends to happen is you start to not only lose body fat, but you lose muscle mass, and you lose bone density, which we don't want that. And okay, why do I care about muscle mass if I'm just trying to lose weight? Well, a couple of things with that is, a majority of the time when people want to lose weight, they just want to lose body fat, and they want to look leaner. Having that lean muscle mass will help you do that, because, like I said earlier, it's going to help you speed up that metabolism. And then it's going to also help you, it gives you a certain look about yourself. All right. When you see someone who's nice and toned, they could even weigh more than someone who has more body fat, or someone who is quote unquote, and I'm not body shaming, but they call it skinny fat, where they don't have any muscle mass, but they have a low amount of body fat as well. But because it's just body fat, it still looks like they have body fat, or they have fat, as opposed to if you got more muscle mass in your body than body fat, then basically you're going to have that leaner look. And the fun thing about that too is you don't necessarily have to completely restrict calories to get there, because you got a faster metabolism because of all that muscle mass you got. And again, a lot of people always associate resistance or strength training with becoming bulky. You have to be intentional about becoming bulky, especially if you're like cock diesel buff bulky. You have to be intentional about that. So that doesn't happen by mistake. Now, if you end up eating a bunch of food and being in a caloric surplus, even though you're lifting weights, doing cardio, this and that, you'll still end up having more body fat, which is the result that you don't want. So resistance training is not the enemy, and you have to be intentional about becoming like bulky and having like super huge muscles. That's not how that works. So again, if you want to write it down, do your best to have an active lifestyle. Move as much as possible is what I mean, throughout the day, anytime. All right, sleep does have an impact on that, but I'm not going to talk to y'all about sleep right now. We're just talking about training. So again, move as much as possible, active lifestyle. 2, prioritize your resistance training. Work out at least 4 days a week. Do the resistance and strength training first, and then finish with the cardio last. Okay, no more than an hour of cardio, but no less than 15 minutes when you do decide to. Another rule you want to write down is try your best to not take more than one rest day off at a time. All right. And that doesn't mean working out 6 days a week, but that does mean strategically planning your week in a way where I go 3 days without working out. And I'd say that overall just for like habitual purposes. You know what I mean? Like that mindset's going to keep you fueled, and it's going to make it much easier to get back to the grind and the workout after a rest day, as opposed to just, like taking a bunch of days off and then you're like, oh, dang, I got to do this. No, you're going to adapt. So that's what I got for y'all. And I really hope that this was helpful.